Did you know that inside you lives a girl who holds the secret to your true self-confidence? This isn't a cheesy metaphor or a self-help cliché. Carl Jung, the genius who explored the deepest corners of the human soul, discovered that there's a part of you hidden in your unconscious, waiting to be heard. That inner child, as I like to call her, isn't just a memory from your childhood. She's the voice of your essence, the one who knows who you truly are beyond the masks you've been forced to wear. And when you learn to make her smile, something magical happens. Your feminine self-confidence skyrockets like never before. Today, we'll dive into that inner universe using Jung's tools so you can discover how to heal, grow, and shine from within. So stay with me, because this isn't just a video, it's a personal revolution that starts right now. Jung said the unconscious isn't a dark, chaotic place filled with fears. It's a living treasure that contains everything you need to feel whole. Imagine that inner child as a part of you that still holds the spark of your purest dreams before the world told you how you should be. But here's the problem. Most of us have silenced her under the expectations of being the perfect woman, the selfless mother, the ideal partner, or the flawless professional. That girl stayed quiet, waiting for you to look at her again. And when you don't listen to her, you feel that emptiness. The draining relationship, the unfulfilling job, the sense that something's missing even when everything seems fine. Let me tell you something that's probably happened to you. Think of a time you met someone, a friend, a partner, a boss, and at first, everything was perfect. You were excited about plans, conversations, promises, but slowly something started to feel off. Maybe it was comments that made you doubt yourself, or a vibe that left you exhausted after every encounter. Does this sound familiar? Jung would say it's no coincidence. That discomfort is your unconscious speaking, your inner child raising her hand to say, "Hey, this isn't right for me." But often instead of listening, you tell yourself, "It's fine, I can handle it. I don't want to make things awkward." And that's when you start betraying yourself. According to Jung, the unconscious is like an underground river flowing beneath your daily life. It doesn't use direct words but communicates through symbols, emotions, and intuitions. That gut feeling when something doesn't add up, that strange dream you can't explain, that hunch telling you to walk away or step closer. All of this is your inner child trying to guide you. And here's the first secret Jung gifted us. When you ignore these signals, you disconnect from your power. Think about how many times you've said yes when you wanted to say no, just to keep the peace. Or how many times you've stayed in a friendship, relationship, or family dynamic that made you feel small because you believed it was your duty. Every time you do this, you're telling your unconscious you don't matter, and your inner child hides a little deeper. But it's not all darkness. Jung also taught that the same unconscious holds the key to your transformation. That inner child doesn't just point out what's wrong, she also shows you what makes you shine. Remember those moments when you felt unstoppable? Maybe it was when you danced alone in your room, helped a friend through a tough time, or spoke your truth even while trembling inside. Those moments are your inner child smiling, reminding you that your self-confidence doesn't come from external validation, likes, compliments, or approval, but from reconnecting with who you truly are. Let's pause here for a second. Take a deep breath and think. When was the last time you felt that spark of authenticity, that moment of feeling alive without masks? If you're not sure, don't worry. Today, we'll learn how to bring it back. And if you already have it in mind, hold on to it tightly, because that's the fuel we'll use. Jung called this process individuation, becoming your most authentic self by integrating all parts of you, even those you've hidden out of fear or shame. It's not easy, but it's liberating. And for the women listening, whether you're in Mexico making coffee, caring for your kids, or in the US juggling work and home, this is even more crucial. The world has asked us to adapt so much that we sometimes forget who we are. Jung often spoke of the shadow, a term that Sounds mysterious, but is super practical. The shadow is everything you reject about yourself. Insecurities, anger, selfish desires you're ashamed to admit. For example, have you ever been deeply annoyed when someone interrupts or ignores you? Maybe it's because deep down, you've silenced yourself too often and your shadow is screaming to be heard. Or perhaps you feel envy seeing another woman shine on social media and judge yourself for it. Jung would say, don't punish yourself. Integrate it. That envy isn't bad. It's your inner child saying, I want to shine like that too. The shadow isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. So, how do we make that inner child smile? First, you must look her in the eyes. Imagine standing face to face with your younger self, the girl who ran fearlessly, dreamed big, and laughed without worrying about others' opinions. What would you say to her today? What does she need to hear? Maybe she needs you to promise not to let anyone dim her light, or to start setting boundaries with people who drain you. This isn't just a cute exercise, it's a practical action Jung used with his patients to reconnect with the unconscious. And you can do it right now. I'll give you a real example. I know so many women like you who've been through this. You're in a relationship with a partner, your mom, or even a friend, and you feel like you're giving your all, but it's never enough. Say you have a friend who always calls to complain, but never has time when you need to talk. You're left feeling empty, as if your energy vanished. Jung would say there's a message here, that relationship isn't aligned with your essence and your inner child knows it. What do? It's not about cutting ties overnight, though sometimes it's necessary, but asking yourself, does this make me feel alive or drain me? If it's the latter, it's time to act. Here's a practical tool. Start protecting your energy like it's gold. The next time someone asks for your time, attention or a favor, pause and ask, does this fill me or empty me? If it empties you, say no without guilt. You don't owe explanations. A simple, I can't right now is enough. This is self-love in action. And when you do this, your inner child starts smiling because you're telling her you matter, your needs are important. Trust me, your self-confidence will skyrocket when you feel the power of setting boundaries. Before moving on, I want you to do something for yourself and me. If this resonates, leave a comment below sharing what situation or person is draining you today. You don't have to name names, just let it out. And if you want, share this video with a friend who needs to hear it, because together we can heal and grow. Subscribe if you haven't, and turn on the bell. What's coming next goes even deeper. We'll explore how to face the shadows holding you back and release what doesn't belong to you. Ready? Take a deep breath. This is just the beginning. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you is ready to awaken. We've talked about how your inner child, the part of your unconscious Jung passionately studied, guides you through subtle signals, intuitions, emotions, and discomforts. Now let's go further. What happens when those signals become a scream? When you feel something in your life, a relationship, habit, or fear is pulling you backward? Jung gave a clear answer. It's your shadow asking to be faced head-on, and when you do, you won't just heal, you'll unleash self-confidence so powerful no one can dim it. The shadow, as I mentioned earlier, is everything you hide from yourself, not because you're a bad person, but because the world taught you to reject certain things. Imagine this. From childhood, we're told, be kind, don't throw tantrums, don't be selfish. While learning to coexist is good, this sometimes becomes a mandate to silence your needs. Have you ever felt angry, then guilty for it? Or wanted to ask for a raise, respect, or rest, but feared seeming difficult? That's your shadow, the part of you that's strong, wants to shine and refuses to settle, but you've learned to repress it. Jung said the shadow doesn't disappear when ignored. It grows. Think of times you exploded over something small, like your partner leaving dirty dishes again. It's not about the dishes, it's about all the times you stayed silent. Your shadow piles up, and if unaddressed, it manifests as chaos, arguments, exhaustion, or even feeling. unrecognizable in the mirror. But here's the good news. When you integrate your shadow, it becomes your ally. How? Let me give a concrete example. Imagine you've been with a partner who loves you but makes you feel inadequate. Maybe they say, "You should try harder," or "Don't be so sensitive." At first you let it slide to avoid conflict, but over time you start doubting yourself. Jung would say this is a projection. That person is touching a part of your shadow, your existing insecurity, amplifying it. But it's also an opportunity. Your inner child is saying, "This isn't making me happy." So what do? First, breathe. This isn't about blaming them or you. It's about reflecting. Ask, what part of me am I sacrificing here? Maybe it's your voice, joy, or peace. Then do something brave. Talk to your inner child. Yes, it sounds odd, but Jung did this with his patients. Close your eyes and visualize her. What does she say? "Defend me," or "Choose me for once." Then act. It could mean setting a boundary. "I won't accept being spoken to like this," or if needed, leaving the relationship entirely. Letting go is scary. We're taught that leaving is failure. Women in Mexico are told, "Endure for the family." In Colombia, "Don't show exhaustion." In the US, "You can handle it all." But Jung invites us to see it differently. Letting go isn't surrender, it's aligning with your truth. Imagine carrying a backpack of stones. Each stone is a toxic relationship, a "should that isn't yours," or a paralyzing fear. Now imagine dropping that backpack. How do you feel? Lighter, right? That's what happens when you release what doesn't resonate. Your energy returns, your inner child breathes, and your self-confidence grows. Pause here and think, what are you carrying today? A relationship, guilt, an expectation? What if you let it go? You don't have to decide now, but feel it for a second. If you want, share in the comments. I'm ready to let go of Zao. Reading your responses inspires me and others. And hey, if this message is stirring something in you, share it with a friend or sister who needs a push. Together, we're stronger. Returning to Jung, he also spoke of projection, another key term. Projection is seeing in others what you haven't accepted in yourself. For example, you're annoyed by an authoritarian boss, maybe because deep down you crave control but fear claiming it. Or you idolize a confident friend because you don't realize you have. That's strength too. Jung said everything you love or hate externally mirrors your inner world. Here's a hard truth. People who trigger you aren't the problem. They're teachers showing you what needs healing. For your inner child to smile and self-confidence to soar, start viewing relationships as mirrors. Next time someone angers or drains you, don't just complain. Ask, what is this showing me about myself? Maybe the chronically late friend is teaching you to value your time, or the critical coworker is nudging you to trust your ideas. Write these answers in a journal. Jung called this active journaling, a way to dialogue with your unconscious. You'll start understanding yourself better. And it's not just about the bad. We also project the good. If you admire someone's courage, that courage lives in you, waiting to be reclaimed. Feeling inspired by a woman chasing her dreams. That's your inner child saying, "I want that too." So here's another action. List 3 women who inspire you and write what you admire. Then see how those qualities already exist in you, even in small ways. For example, if you admire your cousin for speaking her mind, remember when you stood up for something important. This is integrating your positive shadow, and I swear you'll feel powerful. Before part 3, pause again. Breathe deeply and think, who in your life mirrors something about you, good or bad? If you're comfortable, share in the comments. I realize name teaches me. If this video is giving you clarity, share it now. Subscribe and turn on the bell. What's next is the perfect closer. How to make your inner child not just smile but dance with joy. We'll talk dreams, purpose, and how the universe responds when you choose your truth. Ready? Let's go deeper. We've reached the heart of this journey. If you're still here, your inner child is already awakening. We've discussed listening to her signals, facing your shadow, and releasing what weighs you down. Now let's take a bigger step, making that child not just smile but dance, leap, and feel free. Carl Jung believed life isn't about surviving or fitting in. It's about finding your wholeness, purpose, and authenticity. When you do, your feminine self-confidence becomes an unstoppable force that transforms everything around you. Jung said, the unconscious doesn't just show what's wrong, it guides you toward what makes you shine. Think of moments you felt truly alive, painting something beautiful, helping your niece with homework, or leaving a suffocating job. These aren't accidents. They're your inner child saying, this is me, this is where I thrive. But between life's noise, kids, bills, expectations, these moments get lost. This is where Jung's concept of synchronicity comes in, when the universe seems to conspire in your favor. Have you thought of someone who then texts you, or decided to change and suddenly an opportunity appears? That's not luck. It's your unconscious aligning with the external, the world. Jung said, living authentically invites the universe to respond. But you must be brave. Choose your dreams, desires, and essence, even when the path is unclear. For women in Mexico City dreaming of more, Bogota fighting for peace, or Los Angeles finding your place, this is a call to action. Let's talk dreams. Remember your childhood plans? Maybe you wanted to travel, write a book, start a business, or simply be happy without pressure. But life happened, and between caring for others and responsibilities, those dreams got paused. Jung would say they're not dead, they're in your unconscious, waiting to be reclaimed. When you do, your inner child leaps with joy. Here's a practical step. Today, write down an abandoned dream. It doesn't have to be huge. Maybe I want to dance, or I need an afternoon to myself. Then take one small step. Watch a YouTube dance tutorial or block an hour this week. You'll feel your energy shift. But dreams don't come alone. Sometimes the biggest obstacles are people around you. Imagine deciding to sell handmade crafts like your friend in Medellin. You share excitedly, but someone says, what if it fails? Stay safe. That comment deflates you, and your inner child shrinks. Jung would say these people reflect your own fears. The good news? You choose whom to listen to. Surround yourself with women who uplift you, who say, of course you can. When you do, your self-confidence grows and your inner child dances. Pause here, breathe, and think, who inspires you to be yourself and who holds you back? If you want, share in the comments, my sister motivates me, but my aunt doubts me. If this message ignites something, share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe and turn on the bell. Each video is a step toward transformation. Now let's talk self-love. Jung didn't use those exact words, but his work points to it. Loving yourself enough to embrace your light and shadow. For many of us, self-love feels selfish. We're raised to put others first, kids, partners, family. But here's the truth. If you don't choose yourself, you can't give your best to anyone. Imagine your energy as a pitcher of water. If you pour it out for everyone but yourself, you're left empty. But if you fill it first, with rest, joy, boundaries, you can share from abundance. Here's another tool. Create a self-love ritual this week. It doesn't need to be expensive or elaborate. Sit with coffee and your favorite music, or tell yourself in the mirror, I'm proud of you. Do it for your inner child. Say, I see you, I love you, and I'll protect you. This isn't cheesy. It's a Jungian practice to reconnect with your essence. When you do, you'll notice something amazing. The right people start arriving. Friends who respect you, partners who value you, opportunities that excite you. That's Jung's synchronicity in action. But it's not all roses. Jung knew there's no awakening without pain. Maybe you're in a crisis, a breakup, a hated job, a family fight. These Moments are sacred, your unconscious shaking you awake. Don't run from chaos, embrace it. Ask, what is this teaching me? Maybe the breakup shows you deserve more, or the job pushes you to pursue passion. Pain is a portal, and crossing it strengthens your inner child. We're almost done, but let's recap. Listening to your unconscious, integrating your shadow, releasing what doesn't serve you, and chasing dreams are paths to feminine self-confidence. When your inner child smiles, you shine, and that light doesn't just change you, it inspires friends, daughters, and women around you. My final message, choose your truth, not tomorrow, not when things are perfect, but today. The world needs your light, and you deserve to feel whole. Reflect. What will you do differently after this video? What will you release or reclaim? Comment, I'll set a boundary with Ka, or I'll revive my dream of Agrino. Your words not only commit you, they inspire others. If this touched you, share it. Subscribe, like, and turn on the bell. Every action counts. Together we're building a community of brave, authentic, unstoppable women. Thank you for being here, for listening, for being part of this. Life is full of possibilities, and you have the power to choose how to live it. Do it for your inner child. Do it for you. I'll see you in the next video.